Close to mental.
Okay.
I'll say everyone.
Okay, great.
Same.
So JP's gonna set up.
Someone's gonna be shooting somebody.
JP's gonna set up a match, and then you guys can join in on this side, and over there he's gonna set up a match as well, and you can join in on that side. But before you guys all join in, David's gonna do a quick introduction about Fragile Alliance and how it ties in with the overall Kane and Lynch game.
Okay, so in front of you, you probably noticed you've got this card that says Fragile Alliance. On the inside, it gives you a lot of information about what Fragile Alliance is. And what I want to do is kind of start off with just the fundamentals. Kane and Lynch Dead Men is a crime game, right? You play a flawed mercenary, medicated psychopath, and it deals with the whole crime mentality. So when IO Interactive wanted to make a multiplayer game, they didn't want to just make another multiplayer game, like a capture the flag type of game. They wanted to make a game that brought in that whole notion of feeling and thinking like a criminal. So in this game, it's not cooperative, it's not competitive, it's manipulative, right? That's the main idea. It's, if you play the game like a soldier, like in most online games, you're going to lose. But if you play the game like a criminal, where you betray people, you set people up, you double-cross people, you're going to win. The more that you can be the kind of the fox in the henhouse, the more power you're going to have. There's a strategic element to this game that we're going to go through a couple of rounds, you're going to kind of feel it, and you'll start making sense. Now, if I kill you, you don't just die. You turn into the opponent, right? So if it's a bank heist, you become a cop, right? And then all of a sudden, everyone knows that I'm a traitor, right? So I've just revealed myself, right? But when you play the game, there's a certain point where you have to play cooperatively. There's no way that all that cash can be got unless you work as a team. And you're going to find some point, there's a tipping point, where it's to your advantage to be the guy that starts taking people out. Now, if you're a really good stealth player, that's going to be to your advantage. If you're really good at head games, that's going to be to your advantage, right? And why don't we just leave it at that? So I think what we want to do is start off just playing a couple of rounds, don't have to worry about the score, just kind of getting used to it, and then we'll go in and start playing head up. Okay.
So you guys here, you're gonna join the game called X Mizuki, and then you guys here, you're gonna join the game called X Saffron. Ranked. Oh, you bastard! Oh, we already have a traitor.
Go downstairs?
Someone shot me in the back.
Jackass.
Who's next out of it?
Go ready.
You know what? Let's start an introduction, like everybody. I'm Godfrey from Gamertag Radio, and also part of Gamercast Network. So,
Sarkis Dagling, Gamertag Wish Key 9, Xbox MVP, 2offgaming.com.
Rick Kim, MVP, Microsoft Xbox MVP.
Jeremy Duff, Gamercast Network video game show.
Rainier, we'replaying.com. News editor.
Chris, Spectacular. Diego from Spectacular Gamercast Network.
Blake from Game Revolution. Okay. So you want to start off like your feedback so far in the game? Like, let's start with the single player. That's where we first started off this morning. Want to talk about that? What do you think so far?
So far, the single player, it's pretty fun. Some of the battles get kind of hectic and difficult just because there's so many enemies coming at you on screen. The weapons are pretty good. The visuals are pretty good, on par with most games listed on the 360. And just the really interesting part is just listening to the dialogue between Kane and Lynch as level progresses. They've done a really good job of mixing in the cinematic aspect of the game along with the actual gameplay during single player.
Anybody else? Okay. So any questions? I mean, you want to ask them anything?
Well, I thought it was interesting because what was your first reaction after playing the first single player levels? No reaction, some reaction?
Was to learn how to use the squads.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I tried.
Yeah.
I tried the whole run and gun thing and that didn't work. And then I had to get good at using the squads and sending them out here and using them. Hey, get this guy. And what was neat one time is I used the squad and the squad's attacking. So I actually was able to flank all the police and just shoot them while they were shooting at my squad. So.
You think was it too difficult at first for you when you started off?
Yeah, until I got the whole hang of the whole squad. That particular level was.
The downtown level.
One thing is for sure though, it's not a run and gun game. It's kind of like Halo. You can just like go, right in and shoot at whatever. This game, you gotta sit back, use your squad, take your time, make your plans and look at the scenario. Like that part you can go to. This part there's no cover, so send one or two guys there. Bring one guy with you. You know what I mean? So. I like that aspect of the game. That you can control your squad and go through the map, like kind of like sweep the map. You know what I mean? Take the guys out and use that to your advantage. That's one thing that's like really, made a difference right there.
So when you start playing co-op, how the experience changes when playing 2 players game?
What you find is you start doing crew command. Right, so you and I split up. You have responsibility for the crew. I have responsibility for the crew. But if you're kind of a lead player, I can take on all the crew, and you can play single player essentially. Right? But I think as you get 2 experienced players, then it gets even more interesting because you control half the team and I control the other half. Right, so we're running not only ourselves, but we're running our team as well.
In that same aspect, also, it's like they have a feature where.
Here's the mic, sir.
No. In that same aspect, also, they have a feature where you can kind of give control of the crew you're commanding to the other co-op player. So if I'm in a situation where I feel that it'd be best if I make this like tactical run by myself, I can give you control of my crew. So you got my whole crew now. You're gonna lay down cover fire, so you're gonna pin them down so I can get around. Right, and in that same instance, all you gotta do is pan back to me, aim on me, and then give me command of my my crew back. My crew come running over, and then you can go in. So it makes for a lot of interesting scenarios in that.
I know at first a lot of people were concerned about the game not having online co-op, but after playing the single player and multiplayer now, like it doesn't really bother me that the game doesn't have co-op online. I mean, you guys feel the same or?
Yeah, I feel like with the like I was saying with the online multiplayer co-op, it's the type of thing where people really will give you a lot of heat for it at first, but if your game is going to make a difference to where people are going to be playing for a while, it's not going to be for too long. Because, like I said, some games people are like, oh, why isn't there online co-op in this? But then after 2 weeks, nobody's playing online co-op. Everybody's playing multiplayer, or everybody's playing the campaign at a different difficulty or whatever.
There's even people to this day that don't even bother going online; they just play offline.
Exactly. So there's a lot of people that I have, a bunch of friends that still play just, story modes of games and things like that. They don't have, Xbox Live, and I think that aspect of the game, like you said, playing a 2-player co-op, with your buddy or whatever, and giving you the ability to do what you can do with your crew and the map itself and all that stuff makes up for a lot of that, not having the online co-op, you know what I mean? And if you have a decent to like fun multiplayer, it's really not that huge of a factor, you know what I mean? If the multiplayer plays good and you have a good solid story, then it's good.
Yeah, well, what about the quiet ones? Want to say something? Or?
Yeah, well, as far as like a online co-op, I was like, usually the only time I'm playing through a game with somebody is it's either my roommates or it's one of my friends that lives in my neighborhood, and we don't really play online. So
you play side by side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's more of a social aspect to it. So it's like never really been an hindrance to not have online co-op play, anything that I personally play.
What do you guys think about the soundtrack, the game? I know yesterday around me, so we'll see. How's that? Playing the game, single player wise. Take the experience a little bit.
I wasn't here.
Oh, okay. You were too focused on
the
game. Okay. For those that play the game, what do you think about the music?
I don't know. I thought it was kind of awesome. I thought it gave it a real unique feel. I don't know, kind of like a I almost want to say a darker feel. You know, I really liked it. I thought it added a lot to it.
I like the fact that when you die, it gave like that little flashback of like, you know, him, you know, talking to the guys or talking, you know, talking to himself, like regretting about his daughter or whatever. So I like that, you know, that aspect and other, like the music itself in the game. When you reach like certain parts, it's kind of like this song was just made for this part, so it gives like that, you know what I mean, that special like, you know, touch to the level and stuff like that. So it was a nice, you know, very, very nice job with the music. So I like that part.
Ace?
I think about the music, it definitely adds a tremendous cinematic feel to the entire
Yep.
game. My only gripe about the music is that I didn't hear it enough when I'm playing it. You know, because just and the main theme especially is just so powerful, so tremendous. I think I would love to have heard more of the music throughout the game, but you know, just hopefully if there's a soundtrack available, I'll buy it and just play it.
We're working on it, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Anything that you would like to ask us that you guys want to know?
Well, you know, and I'm the marketing guy, so my job is to kind of get the word out there and kind of frame it in a certain way. And as we pitch it out there, were there things that met expectations? Were there things that echoed within what you heard about the game or haven't heard about the game? Just kind of as you were playing the game. Does that make sense as a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Ace.
I think my first sort of impression of the game when as I was starting out that first level was just almost shocking. Pick up a gun and point it at the cops and shoot them. You know,
why is that?
because you know, in most games where you're playing someone who shoots cops, the cops are crooked, the cops are demons, or, you know, and it's like you're playing a bona fide bad guy this time.
Yeah.
You know,
No holds barred.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so it was sort of it's riveting, but it kind of shocks the conscious in that way.
Oh.
And